Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and this is BP NFL. It's time to look ahead to the prop market for Week 11, and who better to do that with than Andrew Erickson, the Undertaker, and the Welsh. He's no outcast around these parts. The boys went a collective, last week, 7-3, pretty damn good, I would say that. The touchdown call contest getting real close. Welsh is at 9, Erickson and I are tied at 11. Who will pull ahead this week? Well, stay with us and find out, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring the bell till it goes ding. Stay with us here on Betting Pros. We've got live streams, we've got podcasts, we've got everything. Subscribe wherever you get your pods as well, and download the Betting Pros app. That's what's important. We want you to use the tools, and a lot of people watch the shows, hang out with us. They're like, yeah, we just like the shows. I'm telling you, check out the tools, download the Betting Pros app, sync your sportsbooks for free. You don't even have to go premium at first. But I'm telling you, when you do, it opens up even more of a toolbox for you to use to be successful. This is the time in the NFL where we're going to have that crunch time, November, December. We're going to move into the playoffs. We got college football raging. We've got NBA. We got everything happening right now. We want you to be a part of it. So, gentlemen, let's start with two big quarterbacks here. Welsh, I know you were on a stepladder last week that got you to change a light bulb at least. Pretty good. I like that. I had my bye week last week, so I'm sorry I missed that. But I want you to start here with Josh Allen in a game that Andrew and I have talked about all week from Monday till today. We've been talking about that Bucs-Bills game. So what is your take? How are you approaching it from the prop market?
By the way, we bought a couple light bulbs with that bet.
There you go. Get them Costco packs. Get them 20 light bulbs. I'm set for the next millennia.
LED, we did so well. We were getting LEDs, not just fluorescent normal ones. We did very well. All right, so we're going to go into the passing yard market for this one, and we are going to tag Josh Allen. We're going Josh Allen passing yards 210.5. Look around, too, because this number's floating in a lot of different spots. But Allen has gone over this number in 2 straight games. Bucs, in this great matchup, they've given this up in 3 of the last 4 games to quarterbacks. The 2 that didn't, or I think 3 of the last 5 weeks, the 2 that didn't hit were against the Panthers and the Dolphins, by the way. Bucs are averaging defensively, giving up over 230 passing yards to quarterbacks per game. It's about the 9th worst in the NFL. And this is a 5-star bet from the Betting Pros app. If you check out the Betting Pros prop analyzer, and they've got this going over 245 for him. So I think it's a really low number. This is a pretty good implied total on the odds, as you guys have been probably talking about, around 47.5. I think this is going to be a game that's going to be won in the air, and it's just a nice low passing yard line for one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So I really like this one. 210.5. We're going over.
All right, so an over for Welsh to start things out. We got to balance that out at some point with the Undertaker, but I don't think it's going to be on this next guy that he wants to talk about. Your first tier player is Lamar Jackson, and you've got the passing touchdown total. Let's talk about that, Andrew, in a game here where Baltimore's trying to scratch and claw their way back to the top of the standings in that AFC North.
Lamar Jackson going over 1.5 passing touchdowns. So he didn't hit this last week, but before last week, he had hit over 1.5 passing touchdowns in 14 of his last 16 games played. Again, there was another game this year where he didn't hit it, but it's because he got injured against the Kansas City Chiefs. But this is a number that Lamar Jackson hits almost every single week. He has the longest streak in the NFL currently of quarterbacks with at least 1 passing touchdown. So he's going to get at least 1. And I know the Cleveland Browns defense is a little bit tougher. They are playing on the road, but 3 matchups so far, last 2 years against Cleveland, Lamar Jackson has at least 2 passing touchdowns in all 3 of those games. The strength of the Browns defense is their run defense. So I think if they get inside the red zone, it's going to be more pass attempts for Lamar Jackson, not necessarily Derrick Henry rushing scores. So Lamar Jackson over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Usually this number is really juiced. It's usually like minus 180. It's minus 110 this time because he hasn't done it last week. So I think you're buying the dip here on a prop that hits at a pretty high clip.
I want to jump in on this real quick because Erickson got to the sheet before any of us. And I did the scan, and then I went to do my work, going da-da-da. I landed on this one like 3 different times, and I kept staring at it. And then I started to do like the process of it, not realizing, even though I saw you did it, I think you incepted my brain. And I almost put this on the sheet, and I really like would not have realized it until we literally got into the show and you just said it again, because I was like, I think I'm going to do this one. Yeah, I think he's also thrown 2 or more touchdowns against the Browns in 3 straight games as well. Like, I really, really like this one. I'm going to tell you on it.
And he's not going to be running as much too, coming off that injury too. I think you want to maintain him in that, safety zone a little bit in the bubble wrap. So is this the dream within the dream, Welsh? Like, where are we? Like,
you have to watch the spindle. The spindle. If it's still going, it's
still going after all these years. I like that movie. I got it the first time. I don't know why everyone else is so confused. You just got to make sure you stay awake the whole time. That's like, if you doze off, you can totally get lost in Inception.
It wasn't Inception that was a problem. It was Tenet. They even acknowledged they're like
Tenet.
We don't even really know what this means. Like, they just were having fun with it. Like, no one, Tenet is the one you don't understand.
Now I want to see it more. All right, let's talk about a huge game here for the NFC West division here. We got the Seattle Seahawks, Welsh. We've got the Los Angeles Rams, and you've got Kyren Williams on your board this week.
It's like that one guy on YouTube. He's like, I understand it now. This is the bet. I understand it now. It is Kyren Williams, 12.5 over rush attempts. Man, this number is low. Between 12.5 and 13.5. I like both of them. 5 of 9 games this year, he's actually gone over this, which actually doesn't seem like a super impressive number. But since the bye, he has gone back-to-back weeks of having 14 or more carries, which should continue. Seattle's a tough matchup, but they are 18th in yards allowed after contact. These tough divisional games with tough secondary help as well could slow the pace a little bit. I know Corum has gotten a little bit more involved, but you get inside the 5, it's going to start to become Kyren Williams time. Tough divisional matchups. They've had 2 divisional matchups so far this year against the 49ers. He has had 14 carries in both of those. So at 13 carries for Kyren Williams in a very important matchup where the passing game could even slightly get taken out, I love this one. So 12.5 over rush attempts. I think this is my first rush attempt bet of the year, and this is my favorite one.
All right, let's talk about the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix. A little erratic this year. The stats in terms of fantasy are there, but in terms of performance for the Denver Broncos, it's been an up and down season for Bo Nix. So what kind of game will it be for him on Monday night here, Andrew Erickson? Excuse me, not Monday night. Kind of game will this be for him this week against the Kansas City Chiefs here, as the Chiefs are coming off that bye? So let's talk about your Bo Nix thoughts for Week 11.
A big spot for the Broncos hosting the Kansas City Chiefs as they try to win the AFC West. But for me, I'm taking the under on Bo Nix in the pass attempts at 34.5. Last week, we bet the under on Michael Penix, 34.5 pass attempts. Me and Welsh were talking about it in Slack. And despite the game going into overtime, we still cashed the under. And that was a bet that came to me as a 5-star bet in the prop bet cheat sheet.
Yeah.
I've been very profitable. The Betting Pros feed has fed me that, when you bet on pass attempts, this is one of the most profitable markets that you've been able to hit on. So going right back to it here with another 5-star bet courtesy of the prop bet cheat sheet. Bo Nix, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, no quarterback this season has gone over 34.5 pass attempts against the Chiefs. None of them. Every quarterback they face has gone under this number. And when you think about what Bo Nix does when he is an underdog versus when he's a favorite, he runs the ball a little bit more. He's more likely to scramble against a tough defense with Kansas City coming off the bye week. I just don't think that Sean Payton is going to, all right, this is the spot we're just going to totally unleash Bo Nix against the Kansas City Chiefs at home. That doesn't make sense to me. It's, hey, we got to play strong defense, keep it tight, win by a field goal. And I think that means we're not going to see a shootout. I like the under in this game. That was one of my best bets on the Week 11 show that we did together, Joe, earlier this week. So I'm taking the under on Bo Nix, trusting the prop bet cheat sheet.
All right. Again, prop bet cheat sheet, bettingpros.com/props, or just download the app. That's where you find the prop bet cheat sheet. You should also, while you're at it, since you're downloading stuff, download the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app. They are the sponsor of our shows. We love Hard Rock Bet. It's the only legal sportsbook in Florida where everything is legal. And now Hard Rock Bet is as well. So go check it out if you're in Florida. And don't forget, you bet $5, right? You hit that $5 bet, you get 150 in bonus bets, and we got all sorts of fun things going on this time of year. I mentioned it before. You got college football, you got NFL, you got college basketball. March Madness is around the corner. I'm not trying to skip over the Super Bowl. Don't worry. I'm just saying there's a lot going on right now, and Hard Rock Bet has got it for you. They've got all of the boosts too, the rewards. They've got everything going on to make it more of a fun experience. The Stats Hub. I love Hard Rock Bet. And you're going to love it too if you haven't already downloaded. So check it out. Download the Hard Rock Bet app today and make your first deposit. Remember, $5. If you hit, you get your winnings plus 150 in bonus bets only from Hard Rock Bet. Next up here on our list of props for week 11 in the NFL, a guy who had a pretty good week last week. Can Devonta Smith roll it over again in week 11?
Let's do it again. We're running it back. DeVonta Smith receiving yards, 55.5. Actually a decent matchup for A.J. Brown and all of his crazy controversy going on. But one big thing I do agree, by the way, with what A.J. Brown was saying was like that you just need to become more innovative or adjustable in your offense. You can't become one-dimensional. And that is, I think, something that is going to have to happen in this one. And it's going to have to happen in the air. DeVonta Smith has hit this in 4 of his last 5 games. He's hit this prop number. Got the great matchup grade according to PFF. The corners for Detroit, by the way, ranking 60th, 83rd, and then unranked out of 112. So you really like that corner matchup. Pros projections have this number at 66. There's a slight lean on the PFF projections, but Fantasy Pros projections really like this. And we've seen Smith be a really big, deep option. And if they're going to be kind of playing point for point, obviously, they're going to run the ball as they always do. But DeVonta Smith is going to get the action where A.J. Brown gets a lot of attention. So the corner matchups work really well in this. DeVonta Smith has been hitting this. 55.5 is a very reasonable number. He's been kind of a mainstay, usually for Erickson in the betting market. But I'm going to jump in this week and take him for my third prop of the week.
All right, let's go with another receiver, a guy who actually just showed up in Seattle last week, and now he's in a big game here, Rashid Shaheed. So, Andrew, what kind of impact could Shaheed make in this Week 11 contest? Huge game here for both teams in terms of the standings when it comes to the NFC West.
I think that Rashid Shaheed is an X factor in this game for the Seattle Seahawks. I think that he's that extra explosive element that if the Rams are going to try to put all their attention on Jackson Smith and Jigba, then I think Shaheed is going to get some favorable looks here. So I like the over here at 31.5 receiving yards. Last week, Shaheed in his debut, just 3 touches for 26 total yards, but Sam Darnold attempted 12 passes, right? It was a total blowout game script. We haven't really seen Seattle pushed in the last couple of weeks because they've just been basically just killing all the teams that they have faced. So against the Rams on the road, tight spread, I'm expecting a more back and forth contest. And I think that means that the coaching are going to have to use Shaheed. They traded for him for a reason. And I know that we're really talking up the Cooper Kupp revenge game narrative. I think that Shaheed is actually going to have a big impact here because Shaheed's already played the Rams. He played the Rams 2 weeks ago in his last game with the Saints. He had a 36% target share in that game. 5 catches on 9 targets for 68 yards. He is a big play machine. And what has Sam Darnold been doing all year long? Just dropping absolute bombs to guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba. So 31.5 receiving yards. Again, he can get this on one single play. Right. And when he was with Clint Kubiak with the Saints, he was consistently going over 70 plus receiving yards. So again, credit to Welsh, hit in the ladder last week with Dalton Schultz. It kind of felt gross because Dalton Schultz not the super explosive guy. So I'm doubling down here with Shaheed and doing a ladder bet up to 70 receiving yards. Because that's what this guy does. All he does is rip off mass explosive plays. He almost hit this 2 weeks ago against the Rams. He had 68 receiving yards. That was with a rookie quarterback making his first start on the road. Give me Sam Darnold as an upgrade with the explosive element against a kind of leakier Rams secondary. So I like Shaheed a lot here. You look at some of the receivers that have given up 70 receiving yards to the Rams. Juwan Jennings, Travis Hunter, Kendrick Bourne, Adonai Mitchell, the guy who couldn't catch a cold against the Patriots. He went over 70 yards against the Rams defense. So if those guys can do it, I'm pretty sure Shaheed can as well.
You had me at ladder.
Yeah, you know what? You sold me as well. I'll tell you what, too. Another one that I like in this game, too, just because we've talked about a few things from it, is the DeVante Adams under 60.5 receiving yards. He's a little banged up. He's not 100%. Seattle defense is very good, but also he's only gone over that mark twice since week 3 and only 3 times all year. Like Adams has been productive, scoring touchdowns, making, plays when he needs to. But in terms of like that big yardage total, it hasn't really been Devontae's game this year. And I think in this game that's going to be, play a little bit tighter with these defenses, I think that's one to look at with that.
Also a secondary one, the other touchdown passing prop I was staring at hard with Lamar Jackson was Sam Darnold. And it's a little bit of a lower number. It's like minus 105, 107 or something like that for 1.5 over. Like you said, Darnold's just dropping bombs. So I know the secondary for the Rams, the defense in general is a strength, but Sam Darnold is just in dude level. So I don't hate that. It's not on my card or anything, but I don't hate that one at all. And I'm going to tail my boy. My boy didn't tail the full ladder of Schultz last week, but you did bet the prop and it hit. I'm going to at least do a step ladder with the Shaheed. I don't think I'm going to go to 70, but I might go to 50 with you.
If you go the under on Adams at 61.5, actually, I'm finding it now, and the over on 31.5 for Shaheed, you're getting to plus 231, by the way, a little SGP action for you. So get you double up there. So there you have it. All right. We already talked about prop bet cheat sheet again, same game parlay tool. I just plugged those things in to take a look for it. So again, use the tools out there, help you get ahead. All right, Welsh, let's talk about something that might be a little bit more on the depressing side. The Tennessee Titans, not a lot going right for them. So how can we make some money off what's going wrong for them?
Is it the over? It is not. Is it the over? As Erickson says, when I talk unders, listen, because I don't bet a lot of under. I'm very picky about my unders. We are picking an under on the Titans this week, and we are going Cam Ward under 187.5 passing yards. 187 the call. Houston ranks second out of 32 in overall defensive grade. Here are some of the grades according to PFF. They are the number one in coverage on running backs, number one pass rush. They're a top 12 against tight ends and wide receivers in general. The Texans have held quarterbacks to under 200 passing yards 4 of the last 5 weeks. And the under to this prop has hit in 3 of the last 4 outings versus quarterbacks. Now Cam Ward. Cam Ward has gone over this total only 5 times this year, but he has done it in 4 of the last 5 weeks. But he has never had more than 187 passing yards without completing 21 or more passes. The Texans averaging only 17 completions a game to quarterbacks. PFF projections have this at 185. Everything is relatively close. I don't think Cam Ward's going to be able to pass the ball at success. There ain't no wide receivers. They're going to be in his face all day. Woody Marks is their only hope. Under passing yards, 187.5 on Cam Ward. That is my under call of the week.
I already am on the team total under. If you've been watching our best bet show or any of the shows here all week, I've been in on that. I think the number is 15.5. You're finding it right now over on BP for the Tennessee Titans. I just don't think things are going to go well for them against the Houston Texans defense. And Welsh also seems to agree. One thing that could go well, even if it doesn't go well, quote unquote, in the air quotes, is Jameis Winston, because he's a guy that could, throw for 300 yards, throw for 4 touchdowns, and throw for 5 picks in the same game. That's the beauty of the Jameis Winston experience, and I hope we all get to sit down and enjoy that this Sunday. So, Andrew Erickson, I implore you, what's the best way to enjoy that experience from the betting point of view?
We kind of buried the lead there, Joe, when you said throw, throw, throw. Yeah, it's going to be Jameis Winston throwing the ball over 34.5 pass attempts.
Son.
For Jameis Winston, because he's not coming off the bench to hand the ball off to Tyron Tracy. That's not happening.
Not.
You're never going to see Winston. Oh, yeah, run play, check. We're going 4 verts. Let's go. We're going to be throwing the football. So I love Winston because we know that he is going to be aggressive. Pick sixes result in more plays for the Giants to have the ball again. But when it comes to the matchup, I think the Packers defense is a little bit overrated when they play on the road versus when they play at home. Their last 3 road games have given up a ton of passing yards. They're also going to be missing cornerback Nate Hobbs. It looks like he's been on the injury report this week. So their last 3 road games, over 219 passing yards, 36 plus pass attempts in all 3 of those games, including 2 plus passing touchdowns. Every road game the Packers have played this year has featured the quarterback attempting at least 36 passing attempts. And for the last 2 weeks, every quarterback that had faced the Packers had at least hit 36 pass attempts. And last year, in 5 of his 6 full starts with the Cleveland Browns, Winston hit at least 36.5 passing attempts.
That's some good stats right there. I can't wait for it. I gotta say, it's like the running theme of the year. The Giants were always the most boring team for me in the NFL, and I lived in the New York area basically my whole life. And even when they were good, they were boring. But this year with Scadaboo and Dart, they've been fun, and unfortunately that's come to an end. So Winston's the only cure. Winston's the only cure for all that. That's what I need. I got a fever, and the only cure is more Winston. That's what I want. Sorry, let's go to the last here of the favorite prop bets, and we'll get to the touchdown calls. So Welsh, it's taken, 7-8 weeks. I can't even keep track since the last time I saw Ricky Pearsall. He's been on the back of a milk carton for the last few weeks here, for the last few months. So he's returning. So do we want to fade him into the under oblivion because it's first game back, or do we want to charge in guns a-blazing to week 11 with Ricky P?
Yeah, the NFL has had like their own version, if you've seen the movie Weapons, where it's just all of these children, but it's football players. Bucky Irving, Ricky Pearsall, they've all just been in a basement, disappeared. Spoiler alert. And Ricky Pearsall, I was a little different on this. I was a little bit indifferent on this one. I even think in the rank show, because I don't love a lot of these guys coming off of injury. But here was my big thing with Pearsall, was if it was going to be like a game time decision, or is it going to come up until like Sunday, I'm not super interested in playing him. They locked this down on Thursday, said he's back, he's healthy, he's good to go. This gives me a greater sense of confidence that he's going to be able to return back into the role that we've seen out of Ricky Pearsall, plus Brock Purdy as well. So they're not screwing around with us. He's getting back into practices. So thumbs up there. So we are going to go with probably the lowest Ricky Pearsall number we've seen in a while. Ricky Pearsall receiving yards, 43.5. So the Cardinals in general, 29 of 32, an overall defensive grade. So we like that, even though, Cardinals can have their moments. Ricky's last game against the Cardinals this year, torched them. 8 catches, over 100 yards. This was also with Purdy back. I think he's hit this receiving yard total in every game he was active so far this year, where he's actually playing. Projections are slight lean in favor, and there's obviously like a risk with the injury and the snap counts. But on the year with Purdy, Ricky Pearsall has represented a 43% air yard share and an over 15 ADOT. Ricky could get this on 2 catches. So very important divisional matchup as well with all the guys back. Low 43.5. We're going over on the receiving yards. A little bit risky. I sometimes put my ugly, nasty bets at number 5. I could see why people might want to move away from this, but dude's a stud. Purdy's back. Going to get him on the big plays. Don't even hate longest reception on Ricky Pearsall, and that's what we're rolling with for my 5th.
All right, sticking with that game, too, we get the return of Brock Purdy. You get the return of Ricky Pearsall, and maybe flying under the radar is the recent uptick in usage for Brian Robinson Jr. Last 2 games, like the first one maybe feels like a one-off. 2 in a row seems like it's a bit of a trend. So Erickson, with his volume upticking, how can we wager on it this week?
Bet the over on his carries. Over 4.5 carries for Brian Robinson Jr. I'm surprised that the number is this low, actually, and this is another 5-star bet on the prop bet cheat sheet, because I was kind of flabbergasted, thinking, have we watched Brian Robinson the last couple of weeks? Like, he's been very efficient. He's actually gone over 40 rushing yards in back-to-back games, despite not seeing double-digit carries. So the coaching staff is starting to take note that, hey, Brian Robinson is filling in as a nice compliment to Christian McCaffrey, so we don't have to give McCaffrey 30 touches per game, so he can at least survive the rest of the season. And I think that's going to continue here. It's a plus matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. And Welsh, I don't know which show it was, but we were talking about the 49ers run game, and you expect, hey, we're going to see a lot of this 49ers run game between CMC and Brian Robinson. That was in my mind when I saw this prop, and it matches up with what Brian Robinson has been doing recently. Again, gone over in 2 of his last 3 games here, 3 of his last 4. So I really love this here. Arizona's faced 30 rushing attempts on average per game over their last 3 games. They've had a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the football. This game should be higher scoring just because both defenses for the Cardinals and 49ers are so banged up. And I expect Brian Robinson to get a decent amount of work here. So over 4.5 carries.
All right, so a lot of stuff betted this week against, or should I say, in the 49ers game. A lot of investments being made there. We're all going to make some investments in some touchdown calls right now as well. So if you want to check out the Touchdown Score Report, it lives at bettingpros.com/touchdown. It'll give you the edge you're looking for anytime TD stats, prop bets, odds, projections to help you identify the very best in anytime touchdown bets. I'm going with CeeDee Lamb at plus 115. Emotional night for the Cowboys coming up here for sure, coming off that bye and coming off a team tragedy there. Plus 115, so CeeDee Lamb, I look for him to get in the end zone, a big spot there. And then give me Theo Johnson, because I'm enjoying the ride of Jameis Winston. I think the best way to do it is to make some investments of the Giants. So we have already one Winston bet. I'm going to give you a Theo Johnson bet to catch a touchdown, plus 220. I think it's a really good number. Darius Slayton out. I was thinking about Wandale, but you know what? I think Theo in that red zone area is the guy that I prefer. So give me Theo Johnson plus 220. Welsh, where are you going for your TD calls in week 11?
Joe, you a cat or a dog person?
I'm a dog person.
Well, guess what? I got dogs, and we're chasing out the cats. We got dogs that are chasing out cats this week, because first up, we got Oronde Gadsden, who's taking out those Jaguars. We're getting the cats out. We got anytime touchdown, plus 170. Jags have given up 4 receiving touchdowns to tight ends in the last 3 weeks. So we pick on them. And the second kitty cat that we're kicking out, get out of here, Panthers, because the birds are coming in. Bijan Robinson, he's a dog who's not scoring touchdowns. It's going to fix this week. But guess what? We're going to do a Joe Pisapia special.
Ooh.
We're going to play the first half scoring a touchdown because we're getting plus 170 on Bijan. Everyone's freaking out. Oh my God, Bijan Robinson's not scoring. Buy low. Bijan Robinson, touchdown in the first half. No Tyler Algier. They've given up, the Panthers, those kitty cats, 3 rushing touchdowns over the last 3 weeks. Bijan Robinson, first half touchdown, plus 170. Gadsden, plus 170. My dogs over those cats.
All right. So any animals for you this week in the touchdown calls, Andrew Erickson?
Yes, actually, we're keeping the theme of these animals. Jalen Waddle for the Miami Dolphins, which
Dolphin.
is an animal. It's a mammal.
It's a mammal.
So technically,
It's a mammal,
it lives in water, but it's not a fish. So
Still
we're
an
going
animal.
Waddle at even money to score a touchdown against the worst secondary in the NFL. Maybe Washington Commanders. They've allowed top 3 in terms of receiving touchdowns per game to wide receivers. Waddle's been the number 1 since Tyreek Hill went down, been very, very productive, over 82 receiving yards in 5 of his 6 games. So he's going to get peppered with volume, and he's going to find the end zone for the second straight week. So I like Waddle to score a touchdown in Spain. Yo soy fiesta. And then my other one is Chase Brown. Cincinnati Bengals, a cat here facing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chase Brown has 70-plus rushing and receiving yards in 3 straight games. He went over 100 rushing yards the last time he faced the Steelers. And there's no Samaje Perine. So we're looking at Chase Brown with a 90% plus snap share. I think he finds the end zone. He has 19 red zone attempts and targets this season. Only has 3 touchdowns. So I think he's due for some positive touchdown regression as the workhorse and the work cat for that Bengals backfield.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to throw out a bonus bet here, dude, just because I bet it this morning, and I bet it pretty heavy. Maybe I'm just riding the wave and feeling the feels from another win from the New England Patriots going to 9-2. But Mike Vrabel is at plus 125 for Coach of the Year. This is probably the last time you're going to see that. Mike Vrabel has the best 11-game start, 9-2 by a head coach after inheriting a 13-loss team ever. So there's also a narrative growing here, I feel like, of the Patriots as these darling comeback kids, which is hilarious because they were a dynasty for 20 years and most people hated them. But there's something about this team. There's something about what's happening on social media. There's something about how the traction of Mike Vrabel trending on X this morning when I woke up. And I just feel as though that's where the narrative is. So no matter how good the Colts are and how much they've righted the ship, and they have, Shane Steichen's done a great job. We all know what a great job McDonald's done in Seattle this year. I just think the Mike Vrabel narrative and the love that everybody is showing that team that's just so darn likable right now, I don't think it's going to be beaten. I think you got to bet it now. I think it's going to be a minus money the rest of the year. So just a little public service announcement for the futures market for me, Joey P. So take your bonus and thank me later. All right, great stuff, gentlemen. As always, make sure you download the Betting Pros app, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below. Who's getting in the touchdown area this year? Who's crossing the goal line this week? Let me know. Drop them in the YouTube comments. We'd love to hear from all of you, and that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Andrew Erickson and the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.